I've been thinking about grief lately, and when I think about grief, it's so much different than the normal pain and agony we face in life. I had this thought last night while sleeping that when a person dies, or when a close friend of yours, or a relative, or someone you loved dies, even at the death of that person, you get the right to grieve, you get the right to cry, you have the right to express your emotions. Now, compare this whole situation from a scenario where the person will just slowly and slowly cut off from you. Not any kind of explanation. Even if they will give the explanation, it's not worth having your attention to, because it's a labyrinth, it's a spiral to get confused with. Sometimes it's that we get addicted to our own suffering, we romanticize our own suffering, and that's the reason grief is the most comforting place one can have. Grief is a art of expressing his pain in a very, very, very religious way. When a person suffers, that suffering can be so personal, and even if the person will die, you can at least grieve. It's a privilege you can have, the privilege of crying, the privilege of expressing yourself. But when the person fades away silently, when the person senescence like those autumn leaves over a period of time, that falling of leaves, how can love? How can one love the falling of leaves? How can one accept the fading away? Especially when it won't even grant the privilege of grief. You can't grieve a person who is not dead. When those leaves fall, you know they will come next year again, and you will again fall in love with them. You will again become attached to them. You will again become but still you fall for it, and then still again after the season ends they fall. What if they don't return? And in case of persons, in case of real life, when people fade away, you don't even have the privilege of grief. It's like they are dead for you, but they are alive. Even their death would have been a better option. At least you have, at least you would have gotten the privilege of grief. You can't grieve because they are not dead, but they are for you. They are no more. They are no longer the same person you used to have talks with, you used to spend time with, you used to share those moments with. And just in a short time of period, they become so distant. So they become, it's like having a uncomfortable space of weirdness between. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Maybe it's more expressible to the way of music, I guess. So let me sing a song for the feeling which I am feeling. Kavish expresses these feelings so well. जाऊंगा कहाँ मैं तो हूँ यहाँ तेरे दिल की आहटों में हूँ सपनों में तू सोचों में तू धड़के दिल तेरे ही लिए होगा किसी का नाम जा रहा हूँ जा रही हूँ जा रहा हूँ जा रही हूँ It will hardly resonate to anyone. And one more thing about suffering and grief, which I learned from someone else, that suffering is extremely personal. It's extremely unique. It's extremely yours. It's the only thing in the world, I shouldn't say only thing, but it's extremely private. It's extremely personal, it's extremely exclusive to you and only to you. Even if I share my whole suffering to you, it won't reach you. Even if I make any art out of it, it will be a adulteration to my suffering. The actual suffering in its raw form can only be transcended via the same situations and via the same feelings. But in its most, when people say that I understand you, I relate to you, no, they don't. They don't. They can't. It's extremely private. It's extremely personal. And the most courageous, or I don't know what to say, the most final act of your friendship can be walking away. For whom? Question that first before walking away. Maybe you are just walking away from your fears, or maybe it's just a coping mechanism. But when staying feels too carcinogenic for yourself, then what will you choose? It's like choosing red pill and blue pill. Neither of the way gives you comfort. Each choice has its own pros and cons. If you will stay, then you will lose yourself. And if you will walk away, you may gain yourself or restore yourself, but you will lose them. Losing the most close people you have can give you the taste of that suffering. Nowadays, life feels like it's just trying. When I see that poster of Sisyphus, it feels extremely relatable, because I don't know the last time I felt extremely free-minded, or the last time when life felt like a slow bliss. Nowadays, it's just like I am trying to live with my issues. Those issues can't be solved. That's the kind of issues they are. Some issues cannot be solved. You will just have to bear with them. And making these videos and making content or boasting about it or writing or making art out of it, hanging them on my walls, blaming others won't help. It can't. And I'm waiting for time to come and tell me that after that much period of me, it will fade away. But the more I wait, the more time it takes to come. Time would meet me. Time is the most efficient healer, but I am healed a little bit from before, but the fact that I am able to make a decision to live alone is also the effect of time. When you lose people and other people join and replace you, that feeling of replacement, that feeling, that urge to be understood by the world, the urge to make others feel the same pain that you felt. All these are so devilish. They are dark, but they are human. They are humane. And we, at the end, are humans. Neither more, neither less. We are just a human. And that's the reason we face all of these problems. I'm learning to live with my own suffering, and unfortunately, I'm falling in love with my suffering. I have created it on my own. It never knocked on my door. Suffering never knocked on my door. I invited it. And I invite it daily. And that's a self-sabotage to do. But still I do. Maybe I am in search of depth, or maybe I am in search of rawness. But because the rawness in suffering and depth in suffering is far more deep than the rawness of love. See, that's the problem. I can't find such raw love in this world yet. It may knock on my door, or I may get the recipe to invent it, but right now I can't find that raw, that genuine, that strong feeling of love, or maybe obsession, or maybe kind of positive feeling. But that rawness, that depth is far more easily experienceable from negativeness, from suffering, from pain. Pain feels more religious than love to me. Suffering feels more religious than love to me. And that's why I'm reading Berserk right now. I don't know what will happen to me. Maybe it's just that the phase I'm in right now is the phase where I'm understanding the opposite of love. And what am I saying? And when I will understand it fully, maybe love will knock on my door. And I will welcome it. Him. Not him. Her. Maybe. It's still a maybe. But I'm prepared for it. because I have found depth or rawness in suffering. And even if I have love in my life or have that raw positiveness in my life, still suffering won't end. It feels sacred. It feels holy. It feels like a gift. It feels a boon to suffer. When that feeling of experiencing peak suffering enters me, it's like I am feeling an incomplete raw idea of love. No, not love. Sorry. I misspoke. That incomplete raw idea of such an art which is still in the mind of the artist but has not transcended yet at a fully scalable or commercial level, but it's at its that indie stage, that rawness, that stage where the idea is present in the mind of the artist but it has not transcended yet. It has that's why the word raw comes from. That's where from which the word raw comes from. Rawness is a sacred type of uncompleteness. That's what it is. The perfection of uncompleteness. Maybe not perfection, but that sense of completeness which you get in incompleteness. That's what rawness is. It's like listen, when you listen to a song and you totally understand it, it's not as magical when you will listen to a song which you don't understand completely, but you understand it enough to make you feel that emotion, that transcendence. That's art. That's rawness. When the artist has deliberately made the art so raw that it doesn't fully explain to you. He hasn't deliberately transcended the same feeling because maybe he hasn't felt it, or maybe he doesn't want to send it, or maybe he can't send it fully to you, or maybe all this beauty is lying only inside you. You are the reason that you are feeling that rawness. Maybe you are that so raw. They say what we see in the world is just a reflection of ourselves. The world we see is the world within we have. That's so fucking deep. Because when you see hate in this world, it's because of the reason that you have hate in yourself. When you see love in this world, it's because you have love within yourself. When you see suffering in this world, that's because you have suffering in yourself. since last 3 to 4 years, maybe 2 to 3 years, I have realizing this, that love is not something which will ever knock on your door. No, it's not. Love is like that art piece which you will have to craft without having the recipe of it, without having a framework of it. You don't know how to make that pot, but still you get the mud, get the wheel, spin it, put the mud on it, and then just try. The conscious efforts of choosing someone deliberately, even when you don't want to choose, when you choose to suffer from them, when you choose to suffer for them. Love is not choosing someone when you want to choose them, when you feel like choosing them. No, anyone can do that. When you still choose that person when you don't want to choose him, because you want to suffer for them, you want to suffer with them. And that is why falling in love with suffering itself is important. That is why grief is important. Understanding grief is important. Loving grief is important. You won't be able to grieve for a person if you don't know what grief is. Grief is just another, it's like a two-faced coins. To love is to suffer, and to suffer is to love. It's all same. There's no difference. There's literally no difference. If you think on a different level, it's same. Love, suffering, just two sides of the same coin. People who can't suffer for their chosen one won't love them for so long. And suffering not for the sake of keeping that relation, not for the sake of having something in return, not for the sake of maintaining this societal fucking structure. For the sake of suffering itself, for the sake of loving suffering. Just suffering. Nothing else matters. Even when this world never notices, even when the person for whom you are suffering never notices, if you still choose suffering for them, and that choice is conscious, that choice is deliberate, that choice feels like making an effort, I don't think love is a bliss. No, it isn't. Love is a way of living, way of choosing. But then love will become a bondage. I don't know. These ideas are so confusing. It's just, I'm not stating something permanent. I can come tomorrow and state absolutely opposite statements, because I'm fluid. from what if. I don't know, but sometimes I'm a rock. Sometimes I am clay. Sometimes I am nothing. Sometimes I am everything. What am I? Who am I? Why am I?